Hello everyone, welcome again to another video. So today's tutorial is about how to make this beautiful mini beaded purse or bag. Super simple and easy to make. Anybody can make this. Let's get into the video. Hello and welcome back again. So on my table here, I have this beautiful 8mm orange bead over here. I have some chain. I have this chain 10 inches long. Okay, this is a 10 inches long chain that I cut. Then I have this button. It's just a regular button that we are going to use. Okay, if you find some button, that's fine. It's just a regular button, nothing expensive. Just take a regular button. And this is my fishing line in 50 pounds. You can also use 7mm fishing line. Let's start. We are starting with 4 bead. This is my line that I cut, so I'm going to string all these 4 bead on my line. Start with 4 bead like this. This is 4 bead I put on the line. Now I'm going to hold the last one. I'm going to cross the other end of my line into it and pull. Cross into it like this and pull it down. You have something like this. As you can see, we have 2 split lines, right and left, and I'm going to put all this bead on right and the left line. So I'm putting this on the left line and this I add it to my left line like this. Now I'm going to cross both ends into the third one and pull like this. Then you have something like this. Now on each side of the line again, I'm going to put one bead on each line. Pull onto the right and the left like this. Then I'm going to cross my line into the third one. Okay, both ends I'm going to cross into this one. This is a right angle weave we are weaving. Okay, this is how it's looking like. On each line again, I'm going to add one bead on each line. Okay, add one to the left, one to the right line. And I'm going to cross both ends of my line like this. You add it on it like this. Then I'm going to cross both ends of my line into this one. Cross and pull it down. Cross both ends of your line into it, hold and pull down. And this is how it's looking like. We have 4 flowers done, and I want you to continue to make 10 of these. Okay, make 10 of these flowers like this. This is 10 that I made. If you count, it's 10, and we are going to turn on this 10 to make 11. Okay, now I'm going to turn this way. So on my right line, I'm going to add all these 3 beads on my right line like this. Now I'm going to hold the last one, cross my left line into it and pull down. This way my line turn on the side so I can start a new row. Okay, you see how the line turn on the side? My line is in this bead, this one. Okay, I'm going to flip it over to my side, and now we are going to make another row again. Okay, so on my left line I add 3 beads to my left line. I cross with my right line and pull down. Now my right line into the next bead. I'm pulling my right line into the next bead. Now my left line, I add 2 beads to it. I'm going to cross with my right line and pull like this. Now my right line again into the next bead. My left line, I add 2 beads to it. I cross with my right line and pull down into the next bead again, pulling my right line into the next bead. Now my left line, I add 2 beads to it, and I'm going to cross with my right line and pull like this. So as you notice, I'm pulling my right line into the next bead and I'm adding 2 beads to my other line, my left line. Okay, now I add 2 beads, cross with my right line and pull into the next bead. Then we continue the same way until we complete this row. So you go through the next bead, pull your line through the next bead, and the other line, your left line, add 2 beads, cross with the right line and pull down. That is how the weave is going to continue and complete your row. And now meet you back here. This is how the weave is looking like. So I'm about to complete mine. Now I'm going to pull my line through the last bead at the edge over here. I pull my right line through it, and the same line that I put through the bead, this line, okay, this line, I add 2 beads to it. I'm going to cross with my left line and pull down like this. You see my line turn on the side again, and we are going to start a new row again. Now I flip it over to my side. On my left line, this one, I add 3 beads to start again. Okay, now we are starting a new row. So I add 3 beads to it. I cross with my right line and pull down. I'm going to pull my right line again into the next bead. Now I add 2 beads again to my left line. I cross it with my right line and pull down. Now my right line again, this line into the next bead. I'm pulling through the next bead, and I add 2 beads to my left line. Cross and pull down. Now we are going to continue the same way until we complete this row. You go through the next bead and add 2 beads to your other line, okay, your left line. You cross with the right line and pull down. Now we are going to continue to complete this one, and I'm about to complete mine. I'm in the last bead. I'm going to pull my right line into the last bead over here. So the same line, I add 2 beads to it and cross with the left line and pull. That way my line turn on the side again. I can start a new row. So on my left line, this line, okay, I add 3 beads to start a new row. I cross with my right line and pull down into the next bead. Pull the right line into the next bead. I add 2 beads to my left line. This is how the weave is looking like, okay? I add 2 beads again to my left line. I cross with my right line and pull down. This is how we are going to continue back and forth. Go back and forth until we complete. We are going to make a big one. This is how it's looking like. Very, very beautiful weave. Very bright. The beads are very bright. So we complete this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. We are going to complete the 4th. And now we're going to extend the row to 19. We are going to extend it to 19, okay? This is my 19. I complete. This is how it's looking like. If you count, it's 19 by 11. 19 by 11. Now we are going to fold into 8. Over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we have 3 in the middle, okay? These 3 in the middle, 1, 2, 3. That's what is going to be our base of the bag. So we are going to fold on 8 on each side. 8 and 8, all right? Like this. These 3, that's what we are going to use for our base. Here is my fishing line that I cut to start. Remember, this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 is our base, okay? So I'm going to pull my line through these 2 beads. Pulling my line through these 2 beads over here. These 2 beads. Then I add 2 beads to my left line. I cross with my right line, these 2 beads, okay? I add 2 beads to my left line. Cross and pull down. Now I'm going to pull again into the next bead. Into the next bead. I add 2 beads to my left line. Cross with the right line and pull down. Into this and this bead. This is the 3rd one. I'm going to pull through the last 3 for the base and the one on the side over here. These 2, I pull my line through, okay? Now I'm going to pick up 1 bead. This line, I add 1 bead to it. Cross and pull like this. Now into the next bead. I'm pulling my right line into the next bead. I add 2 beads to my line. I cross with my right line and pull down. I'm going to pull my right line again, this one into the next bead. This one we are going back. Now my left line, I add 2 beads, cross and pull down into this bead and this one on the side. So the last bead over here, the one on the side. I take 1 bead and cross both ends of my line into it and pull down. Now my left line into the next bead again, this line into the next bead. I'm going through this bead over here, and the same line I add 2 beads to it, and I'm crossing with the other line and pull. Now into the next bead, pulling my right line into the next bead. I add 2 beads to my left line, and I'm going to pull my right line again into this bead and the one on the side. Go to this one and this on the side. I take 1 bead, I'm adding 1 bead to my right line, cross with the other line and pull. Now this line into the next bead. Then I add 2 beads to my right line. The same line I pull through the bead, I add 2 beads to it. Cross and pull down. Now I'm going to pull again into the next bead. This one we are going back again. Then I add 2 beads to my left line. Cross and pull down. I'm going to pull my line through the next bead and this one on the side. Go through this and this one on the side. And the number of bead, I need only 1. Cross both ends of my line, cross and pull into the next bead. 2 beads to my left line. Cross it and pull down. Next bead, pull the line to the next bead. Add 2 beads to the left line, cross and pull. Now I'm going to pull through the next bead over here, this one and the one on the side. Okay, so I pull through this one, this is the last one over here, and this on the side. I take 1 bead, cross both ends of my line into it and pull down. Now again into the next bead. I pull my right line through the next bead. I add 2 beads. To the same line I pull through the bead, I add 2 beads to it. Now I'm going backwards again into the next bead. I add 2 beads to my left line. Cross and pull. Now into the next and the bead on the side. I take 1 bead, cross both ends of my line into it, then pull. Again, this line into the next bead. That's my left line. I pull through the bead, and the same line I add 2 beads to it. Cross and pull down. I pull a line again into the next bead, and I add 2 beads to my left line, cross and pull down. Now this bead and this bead, I'm putting my line through the middle bead over here and this one on the side. I take 1 bead, cross and pull. Now this is the last bead, this one. I'm pulling my line through the last bead on the edge I add 2 beads to my line. I cross my right line into it and pull. Going back again, pull through the next bead. I add 2 beads to my left line. I'm going to cross and pull down. Now we are about to complete this side, this and this one, okay? Now I'm going to pull through these two. Put the line through this and this one on the side, and the number of bead we did, only 1. So I take 1 bead and cross my line into it and pull like this, and we complete our weave. We fill the side, okay? One side is done and we have to go and do the other one. So from here I'm going to weave the rest of my line into the bead. Make sure it's well secured enough before I trim it off. I'm just weaving the line back into the bead. So now that we're done completing this one side of the purse, we have to complete the other one too. And I'll do this off camera and I'll meet you back here. Now it's complete. Both sides of the purse is complete. Look at how bright and beautiful this bead is looking. Very, very beautiful. So now what I want us to do, I want us to see how we can close this bag, okay? So in the middle, I'm going to find the middle over here like this. 1, 2, 3 on this bead. We are going to weave 3 rows. So now I pull my line into the first bead, and now I'm starting with 3 bead. Okay, I start with 3 bead, cross with my other line and pull. Again, I'm going to pull my right line into the next bead. I add 2 beads to my left line, cross and pull down into the next bead. The same line, I add 2 beads to it. I'm going to cross with my left line and pull. Now the same line again, I add 3 beads to start another row, cross with my left line and pull down into the next bead. I pull my right line into the next bead. I add 2 beads to my left line. I cross and pull down. Now my right line again into the next bead. The same line, my right line, I add 2 beads. I cross with my left line and pull. So the same line, I add 3 beads to it. I cross with my other line and pull into the next bead again. I add 2 beads to it, cross and pull. Now again into the last bead. This is the last row we are making over here. To the last bead, the same line, I add 2 beads. I cross and pull down. Okay, this is how it's looking like. Now I'm measuring to see if that is long enough for me to put the closure on it. This is how it's looking like. So we are going to make only 3 rows. I'm going to find a middle so we can put our button. The button is going to be somewhere here, okay? Very pretty looking already. So I'm going to weave this line back into the bead to make it secure before we start our loop. Just weaving into the bead. Make sure it's well tightened. It's well secured enough before I trim the line off. Okay, this is how it's looking like. And now we are going to find the middle. Okay, this middle bead, we are going to make a loop, find the middle. Okay, this over here, this is where our button is going to be. This is where we are going to attach the button in the middle. So if you count the side and this side, it has to be equal. So you find your middle. Now I put my line into the button. Then I'm going to add 1 4mm gold bead and 4mm on the other side like this. So I put 4mm. We are going to attach it here. I'm going to 1 2 3 4, okay, on this 4 bead. I'm going to cross both ends of my line into this bead and pull. Okay, this one, hold it and come the other side. So cross and pull down like this. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to weave the line back into the bead so I can come to meet the other one. I want both ends to be at the same place so I can tie both of them, okay? So I'm just weaving around the bead to bring both together, then I can tie. You tie over here, tie nice and neat and firm, beautifully. Then weave the rest of the line a little back into the bead before you trim it off. Weave it back into the bead, okay? This is how we put the button. Now we are going to make a loop. Let me weave a little bit more, then I trim it off so this line can get out of the way. Okay, now I'm going to pull my line into the middle bead over here, this line into the middle bead, okay? This one, I pull my line into the middle bead. Now I'm going to string this 4mm gold bead on it, on the side. I'm just going to string it to see if it's enough to make a loop. Then we can hook it on the button. So you measure to see if it's enough, okay? You have to measure to see if that can hook on the button for you before you finally tie the line. Now I'm going back through all this bead round, okay, to reinforce it. I'm going through round all this bead round to reinforce before I tie. This is how it's looking like. Now we have to measure, pull and pull tight and nice, okay? Pull nice and neat. This is how it's looking like. Now I'm going to cross both ends into this bead over here. Cross this way and the other one, this one, come the opposite way. Like that. Then and pull and pull tight. Now this is firm and strong. Let's put it to the try and see. Like that. You see? It fit. You can hook on it easily. You can take it off without any struggle. That's beautiful. This is how it's looking like. Now this line I'm going to weave, tie, and then trim it off. I'm going to weave this line back into the bead. Over here I'm just going to make a loop and tie over here. Make this loop and tie, okay? Pull and pull tight inside the bead, okay? Pull in between the bead. Make it again. Come in between and tie. Nice and neat. Now this line too, I'm going to weave it back a little bit into the bead before I trim it off. So now that I'm going to have both ends over here, this one too I'm tying over here. I tie nice and neat and then trim it off. It's easy, very, very easy. Everybody can do this. Anybody can do this. It doesn't take much bead at all. It takes like a 200 milligrams, 200 gram bead. Now let's put the chain on it to see how it will look like. We are going to put the chain. I have two beads, these three beads on the side. I'm going to pull my line through all these three beads. 1, 2, 3. So now I'm going to take one bead. You see my line is in 3 beads. My line is in these 3 beads. I'm going to take my chain and my bead. I'm going to pull through the bead first, and I'm going to pull my line through the chain. Okay, now I'm going to hold this Now my other line, I'm going to pull through the bead, okay? Pull through the chain and through the bead like this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to weave into all these 4 beads, okay? All these 4 beads, I'm going to weave my line into it and pull tight, tie, and weave the rest of the line and then trim it off. So now that I have both ends of my line together, I'm going to try to tie over here, tie a knot of my line and weave the rest of my line into the bead before I trim it off. I'm just tying a knot over here. And now the second side, so we are going to do the same. So here's my line that I carved. I'm going to pull my line through these 3 beads on the side. 1, 2, 3, okay? This is the third one. Pull my line through. Now I'm going to take 1 bead. I pull my line through 1 bead. Then I'm going to hold the end of the chain and pull my line through it. Then on my other line, I go through the chain and through the bead. Go to the chain and through the bead, okay? Now pull down. Pull down and make sure you position everything very well. Make sure the chain aligned very well, like this. That is how we make it, okay? Now I'm going to pull my line again back through all these 4 beads, okay? I'm going to go around. Make sure I reinforce the line. Make sure it's strong enough. Then I hold both ends and tie. Come to this one. Now I'm tying a knot over here on this side too. Tie a knot, very nice and neat in between the bead. Then weave the rest of the line into the bead. Make sure you secure the line inside the bead before you trim it off. Just trying to weave the line back into the bead. Very nice, beautiful. This is how the bag is looking like. Our best mini beaded purse or bag. This is how it's looking like. Very simple, very easy to make, beautiful. This is how it's looking like. Look at how pretty it looks like. Anybody can make this. Look at the inside. You can fit in your little mirror, your gum, your chapstick, car keys, your card. And you can close it and make everything secured inside the bag. Very pretty, very beautiful. Thank you for watching again. I thank you for your time, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also turn on your notifications for any new videos that I'll be uploading so you don't miss on it. Thank you for your love and support, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.